This is the most powerful, effective, and aesthetically pleasing rice water recipe I have ever posted, so stay tuned because this is the one you will want to use all the time. I start by using jasmine rice instead of my usual starchy rice, and this is because it has a really fragrant aroma, and of course it is natural, it is fresh, it is still a great rice to use. I start by rinsing it, even though as you can tell it is very clean because it is meant to be eaten immediately, but I still like to rinse it anyway. I rinse it in this jug just to get off any dust, impurities, and then I pour that out into any plants that I have around the house because there's still a little bit of nutritional value. So now we're putting this straight into my mason jar, which closes airtight, which is extremely important. Glass is always advised, but if you only have plastic or metal, go for metal first, and then if you don't have metal, go for plastic. Now, to help preserve this and just add a little bit more nutritional value, like the Yao women do, I will be using peels from a grapefruit because that is the closest thing I have to a pomelo, and I like to slice it into small slices so that it can easily be distributed around the jug. And so you don't need too much, so this is half the peels. And now I'm adding some ginger, which is a fairly new addition to my rice water. The Yao women also use ginger, and ginger has amazing hair growth properties. So every single ingredient I'm adding to this rice water is something that has been carefully decided that works amazing for hair growth. And one of the next ingredients is rosemary. And if you're not new to this channel, you know I love rosemary. The newest addition to my rice water is lavender. So all these different herbs add different benefits to the rice water, and they can help your hair in different ways. Now I'm going to add some hot water. As you can see, there was already some lukewarm water. Now I'm adding hot water so that it's not boiling hot, but it's hot enough to soften the rice and help it ferment a little bit quicker. I choose not to boil this rice, and this is not the Yao women's version of rice water. This is the version that works best for my hair after doing my own research and adding ingredients that work best for my hair. So as you can see, the jar was slightly overfilled, so I just poured a little bit of the water out and then proceeded to add all the rest of the ingredients. The rosemary, the peels of the pomelo or grapefruit, which I'm using. And then for lavender, I'm just cutting it in half, and you see the bottom part kind of looks like rosemary. And then I'm just kind of squashing everything, the top of the lavender, to make sure that it fits in the jar nicely. Because if you don't want it to go bad, you want to make sure it is submerged in the water and that it is not getting open to air and oxygen. So I put in all the little pieces of ginger as well, and then I seal it, and I put that in the cupboard for 2 days. Here you can just see a 360 view of the rice water. As you can see, everything is fully submerged and everything is in the warm water, and I'm putting it into the cupboard. As you can see, it's next to the Yao women version of this rice water, and I can link that video at the end of this video if you want to watch that. This is what the water looks like 2 days later, and as you can see, it basically looks exactly the same, except when you move it, there are a little bit of bubbles that come up from the rice, and that just shows that it has fermented a little bit, and now it is time to get all the goodness out of the rice. So here we are actually not throwing away any of the ingredients that we added to the rice. We are just simply getting the rice and the water out so that we can knead it, and then we will use these ingredients again. So please do not throw them away, just put them aside. So here I was taking out all the ginger, any bits of lavender as well, and then pouring it into the bowl so we can now, as the Yao women call it, wash the rice. I like to call it kneading the rice. We're sort of rubbing the rice between our fingertips and our palms to get out all the nutrients, all the starch. And this is the way I like to do it. The Yao women like to boil their rice. A lot of nutrients are denatured after being boiled, so I prefer just to use warm water and then to do this method of my rice washing. And it can take anywhere from 5 to 15 minutes, and the way you know it's done is if the rice looks like milk. If it doesn't look like milk, you need to continue kneading the rice, and if it does, then you can stop. You've gotten all the goodness out of the rice. And what I like to do is pour all the rice on top of the sieve, and then I get a little bit of water and just lightly pour it over the remaining rice just to get any remaining nutrients that's sitting on the rice. And then this is the rice water that we are now going to ferment further. As you can see, all the ingredients don't look like they've gone bad. They look essentially the same or almost like they've been cooked. So now everything that was in the rice water, we are just putting back in the jug now to fully ferment, because the rice has done its job. There's no need to continue fermenting the rice. That could actually make it go bad. We are simply fermenting the rice water and the rest of the ingredients. So now I'm putting it back in the cupboard, and this time, instead of fermenting it for 1 week like I did with the Yao Women rice water, I actually ferment my rice for 3 to 4 weeks. So this is 4 weeks later, and as you can see, the ingredients look almost like they've been boiled, okay? Everything is a little brown, but one major thing you notice is nothing has gone bad. There is no mold, there is no any gray areas, nothing is turning green. This is just the color because it has absorbed the color from the rosemary, from the ginger, from the lavender, from the peels. But as you can see, there is no mold, nothing has gone bad, it just looks cooked. So that's what the rice water looks like, and now it is almost ready to use. I'm going to pour what I need into this spray bottle, and the reason why I love this recipe is because unlike the Yao Women version where you just pour all of it over your hair, this one is concentrated into a spray bottle, and this mixture can actually last me a month or two. Now it is time to add some aromatics, and I like to add some lavender oil. So if you hate the smell of rice water, lavender oil can actually really help make it smell really nice, and all you need is about 5 drops for a full spray bottle. And that spray bottle is now ready for me to use, and this remaining rice water can be decanted right back into an airtight container. Sometimes I ferment it more, but usually at this point I'm happy with it, so I just put it in the fridge, and that will stop the fermentation process for essentially as long as I need it. Now I like to use this rice water when my hair is in a protective style, because instead of putting rice water all over my hair, I prefer to just focus the rice water directly on my scalp, and doing this also shortens the steps because I don't need to wait to deep condition my hair to wash the rice water out and then deep condition. I can actually do it at the same time because I don't put deep conditioner on my scalp because deep conditioner is not meant for the scalp. So while the rice water is working at my scalp, I can deep condition the rest of my hair. So I like to thoroughly place the rice water all over my scalp and then do one more round around my hairline. Then I also like to spray a little bit of rice water just for the ends of my hair, and then it's time to deep condition over the rice water. Today I'm using the Oribe Gold Lust deep conditioner, which I really like. It is really great for defining the curls. It is also very hydrating. It is also very thick, and I like to focus this on the ends of my hair because it is so thick. If I put this on the roots and focus a lot of product there, because my hair is in a protective style, it could cause a little bit of buildup. So I just concentrate this on the ends of my hair, on the lengths of my hair, and then also on the perimeter of my hair, and then the rest of it just sort of takes care of itself. So once that is fully worked in all over my hair, I like to make sure that it is absorbed in the hair as well as possible by twisting it up and just squeezing the ends and scrunching them to make sure that the product is really thoroughly absorbed into my hairline and into my hair. And once this is done, I like to go under heat to make my deep conditioner work and also to help the rice water penetrate into my low porosity, thick, full density hair. I go under a plastic cap, and then over that I like to go in with a microfiber towel. This is just sort of to increase the warmth of my hair and stop any water from dripping on my clothes and on my neck. I go under heat with this for 20 minutes and then I rinse that out. And here I was just showing you that I don't always like to use rice waters because sometimes I just don't want to, I'm lazy, I forgot to make it. And so I use these rice water infused conditioner and shampoo bars from the brand Viore, and I like that little case that they're stored in, and I will link those products at the end. That's also just to show you that you don't have to focus on DIYs all the time. So I went ahead and rinsed all the product out of my hair, and I just decided to show you what the rest of my routine looks like when I do rice water. So I start by using a liquid leave-in, and on this day I used the one from L'Oreal. And then I follow up with my cream leave-in, which is from African Pride. This is actually extremely affordable and very effective. It is my favorite drugstore leave-in conditioner. And then to seal all that in, I like to go in with this Olaplex serum, which is not only a great nourishing treatment, but it's also a heat protectant. I focus this on the ends and the lengths of my hair, and then I put it all over my hair as well. I just love how nice and soft it makes my hair feel. And instead of using an oil on my ends, on the first day of my wash day, I find that using this Olaplex serum just works really, really great together. And to let that sink in even more, I like to actually go under heat with my leave-in products just like I do with my deep conditioner, except of course I just take the towel and the plastic cap off and let my hair air dry afterwards, or if it's not in a protective style, I go ahead and blow dry my hair. And when my hair is blow dried, this is what my hair looks like before I went into the specific protective style. As you can see, my hair has grown and it is flourishing. Watch the video on the side of the screen and subscribe if you didn't. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye!